Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Danny Dumas. This is the Earn Your Title podcast. Today, I have a maybe not as exciting. This might be kind of a down podcast, but I think it's a really important topic. I'm going to talk about death and dying. And you might hear it in my voice a little bit. I'll try not to get broken up, but I had an amazing dog. Her name was Charlie. She was 13 years old. And this past weekend, fine all day long. The day before, we went for a mile-long walk. She's pulling like she always did because she could always outrun me. And I got a phone call at about 8 o'clock at night, maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock, and my wife said, Charlie's not acting right. She sent me a picture, and her belly was real distended. And those kind of dogs, she's got kind of a barrel chest, have a problem with they call it a gut flip or a bloat. And that's what it looked like. And I was an hour away, and I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, can you go get Charlie, take her to the emergency vet? I'll meet you there. And so as we get there maybe 30 minutes later, I get into the emergency vet, and she comes in kind of lethargic. Now, normally, like, I am her person. She loves me. She gets excited. I could be out of the room for 10 minutes or 10 hours or 10 days. She's always excited when I come in. And while she picked her head up, she just wasn't her normal self. So I picked her up. We took her in, and they took her right to the back. They got an x-ray. And it took like 15, 20 minutes, and they came back. The vet came back, and the vet was teary-eyed. And I just thought, oh, man, no. And the vet said, well, her belly has twisted. And they did some procedure to try to relieve some of the pressure. She's like, it's not going to, she's going to need surgery. She's like, the problem is I did an x-ray to determine that her gut had flipped. And when I did it, I got a picture of her spleen, and her spleen is full of cancer. And I said, okay, all right. What does that mean? She's like, well, we can fix the surgery. We can fix the gut surgery with surgery. We can take out her spleen. He's like, but the quality of life afterwards, if her spleen is full of cancer, she's got cancer everywhere else. So I made the decision to, put her down. And it was really sad. Like, she was an awesome dog. And so over the past week, we've been experiencing this death. We've been experiencing grief, and what an awesome opportunity I've had to go through this process with my family and my kids. And I wanted to give you some of the tools because you're going to experience this in your life. I'm not trying to equate my dog with a family member, but it's pretty close, right? It's as close as you can get without it being a family member. I truly love this dog. And there's some things that me and my wife have done that have helped our kids kind of work through it. And the first thing I want you to know is when you have a death in your family or a loss, and this could be a job, this could be anything where something has taken away that's good things in your life, is to realize there's steps of grieving. And there's 5 of them. There's a great book called On Death and Dying, and they go through these steps. Now, you don't have to experience all these steps, but it's very common. And the first one is denial. It can't be true. And I had that when the doctor walked in. I don't think it took me very long because I'm a logical person, and I understood she's 13. Anything at this point could go bad. But I'm like, no, this can't be it. No, denial. And then anger, and I had no anger, but that could be real. And then you have bargaining. You have bargaining, and that is just like, oh, if I only did this, I could do this. You have depression, which I think I had a little bit of that. I didn't work out at all this week. I worked out one time where normally I'd do a couple workouts. I just kind of lackadaisical at work. And then you have acceptance. And when you have these experiences, one, you have to give yourself permission to go through these steps. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be depressed, and it's okay to bargain, and it's okay to have an acceptance. It's okay to have all these emotions. And it's okay. Let your kids realize that your kids, when they're going to be going through these, they're going to have those too, and they might act weird. And this is something where I'm very thankful with my job. I guess thankful is a tough word, but I've been a part of the worst days of lots of people. And I've got to see their reactions and learn that there is no normal when it comes to death and the understanding that something permanent like death has happened. I've probably told 100 people that, Mr., Mrs., brother, sister, father, son, I'm sorry, but your loved one has passed away. They're dead. And to see the reaction, tears, screaming, crying, yelling, hitting things, and sometimes like cleaning the kitchen, vacuuming the floor, changing the toilet paper roll, and without being emotionally involved. Like, man, that's really weird. But there's no normal when it comes to death, and there's no normal when it comes to grief. It's okay. So the first step for your kids is letting them know that whatever feeling they're having is okay. Because we think of a lot of this as like when it's a negative thing. It's okay to be mad. Let them be mad. But the really important one, and sometimes the really hard one, and there's maybe some guilt with this, is when it comes to acceptance. When it like that night I brought Charlie home, and I went out. It was dark out. Got my headlight, and I dug a hole, and we're all crying, and put in the hole and buried her, and we started talking about good things, and we were accepting that she was going to be gone, and that's okay. It's okay to accept it. Sometimes we feel like we're almost like, I don't know the right word, but like cheating on your loved one who has passed away when you're happy. But it's okay to be happy. Like, you can regain happiness, and it's fleeting. I've every single day I think about my dog, and I've got a little bit emotional thinking about talking about her because she's an awesome dog and I loved her. But it's okay to be happy. It's okay to accept it, and it's okay to have grief. I just heard a song. It was a country song, which they're all kind of emotional, but it said, "Grief is just love with nowhere to go," which is kind of encouraging. Like, if you're feeling grief, which is not a great feeling, realize that it comes from a place of love. It's because you love that your grandpa or your grandma or your dog or your cat or your sister or your job or whatever it was. It's okay to do those things. Help your kids walk through that. Someone let us borrow this really great book called The Magic Lasso, or The Invisible Lasso, The Invisible Leash. And it just talked about how you are connected to those who are passed away. Obviously, this is about pets, but you have that connection, and that feeling of hurt is because you love them, and that's okay. And just being able to talk with your kids through these processes is okay. One thing I wouldn't do at all, no matter how young or old your kids are, is hide it. I went to a birthday party one time, and they were talking about this fish that they got their kid and it died, and they didn't have it more than a couple of weeks, and they went out and bought an identical fish because they didn't want them to feel sad. You can never completely remove your kids from these bad experiences, so don't try it. Teach them how to deal with it. Teach them that they can go through the process: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, and all those are okay, and they can get through it. Something else that I think that happens when, maybe not animals, but when people die, is sometimes other people don't know how to interact with you. And getting to talk to people as they loved one has passed, it's really easy to just want to avoid that. But if the relationship was good between them, I think most people liked to keep remembering them, to talk about it. Hey, what was your favorite? What was your favorite thing your dad did? What was your favorite moment? That brings people back to life, to remember those. There's a lot of cultures that have, like the Day of the Dead, the Mexican culture, where once a year they get together and they talk about the people who have passed. And it's a good, happy time. They're remembering these good things. So if you know someone that's recently passed, don't avoid it. Obviously, you got to play the situation, use your best judgment. But like, I know I like when people talk about Charlie. Like, I took her to work one time and she ate one of my buddy's sandwiches. I can't wait to talk about that because it brings her back into my mind. And when you can think about them, it's real, and you don't lose that connection. Now, that can bring up grief, but grief is just love with nowhere to go. And that is okay. I know this is a very simple talk, but I want you to know that you're going to lose someone in your life. It's kind of weird that we think everybody you know is going to die, which is a morbid way of saying it. I saw a Facebook post, and there was 4 buddies, and said something like, one of us is going to go to everybody's funeral, and at one of us, no one's going to go to their funeral. It's like, man, that's pretty deep stuff right there. That's a deep thought, but it is true. So I don't want to say get good at grief, but understand that it's a process we're going to need to go to. And as parents and as fathers, we need to help our kids be prepared for that. Walk them through it. Let them know that all the emotions are okay, and just move through grief. It could, if you're a dad and your wife has died, go get your kids some counseling, like that. There's no shame in that, but realize that we can help each other move through grief, and it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You can be happy. You can get to the point of acceptance, and that's okay. You've done nothing wrong to get to the point of acceptance. And those stages of grief, one could pop up at any moment. You could have someone that is gone for 10 years and you're totally accepting it, and then one day you just feel anger. That's just grief, and grief is love with nowhere to go, and it's okay. You're doing okay. I hope this wasn't too morbid. I'm going to try to have a much more energetic and happy topic next week. I do have a request for you. I have a keynote that I would like to give to a group of men. If that group of men is a group that you're involved with, please reach out. My email is danny@dannydumas.com. My name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast, and I will talk to you later. Bye.